Okay. Welcome to the March 8th Board of Selectmen School Commissioners meeting. The first item on the agenda is an executive session. If I could have a motion, please.
I move to enter into executive session under the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Part 2, to discuss contract negotiation with non-union police chief.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none? Roll call vote? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And we will come back into open session. I was reading this. Just to clarify, this is March 7th Board of Selectmen's meeting. I was looking at the agenda that we might have used for a future date. So the first item on the agenda would be, I don't know, public comment. Hearing none. Next item would be, do we want to approve minutes? Is everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, February 17th, regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Next is regular session, February 21st, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Executive session, February 21st.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Regular session, February 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? February 24th, executive session.
So
So-
moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the last is regular session, February 28th.
So, second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I just, if I could, I would just like to, I forgot to say it at the beginning, if it's all right with the board, just to thank the residents for coming out. From what I see, we had over 1,100 residents that came out to vote. Over 400 residents came to town meeting, and I believe it was over 100 residents that came to our informational sessions. So I think it was a great turnout. The FISC committee will start working on it, signing contracts and bids, and moving forward with the senior center. And the only thing, I personally, I mean, would like to apologize for the residents that were in the overflow room. That morning, I contacted the town administrator about having an overflow room, and it was kind of set up. I mean, this is not to fix the issue that it didn't really work that good. We haven't had many. I think I can recall one other in 15 years that we might have used that room. So I think in the future, in this day and time, there should be no problem. We should have cameras in there, and we should have already somebody set in place to watch that room. But I believe the town moderator did the best he could do with making sure they were heard. And I know the town clerk made sure that everybody was counted. So I just want to apologize. During the meeting, I was getting texts from people in that room that I know, and I did advise the town administrator that they were having problems hearing. So they were trying to fix the issue, but I'd just like to apologize for any residents that were in that room. But I believe everybody was counted, and the vote went the way it did, and I appreciate everybody coming out that night. Thanks very much. So the next item is approve warrants. Patty, you gonna do that?
Make a motion to approve the warrants covering the period February 22nd, 2018 to March 7th, 2018, including the payables for the town, FY 18, 35, and 36, payroll, FY 18, payroll number 18, municipal light plant, FY 18, number 20, sewer warrant, FY 18, SE 22, and school warrant, FY 18, number 14.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion, a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, next item on the agenda is temporary quarters for the senior center, correct?
We're passing over several items tonight because of the,
Hold on one second.
You are with the March 7th agenda, that's...
I know, I'm kind of going off this.
So we are modifying this agenda.
Yeah, I'm going off of this,
Yeah.
and I'm just reading this,
Yeah.
so. I mean, this.
if we mention that we're passing over the DPW director discussion for another meeting, he's not here tonight, he's out with his crew handling the storm, and in light of the storm, which is going on right now, I would suggest to the board that you pass over most of the items under new business and go next to the vote on council on aging temporary quarters.
So old business, we're going to pass on that stuff.
Pass over all old business for tonight, correct?
Old business, okay. So, so the vote on okay, so this just says COA, but vote on the, this says vote on the council on aging temporary quarters. It's not, it's the senior center's temporary quarters. I don't understand why the.
COA and senior center.
Yeah, so the senior center's temporary quarters, so, what, I know one of the reasons why we put it off till today was because of the Council on Aging had a meeting Monday night, and I went to that meeting, I explained to them what the landlord was offering, where we were looking at, what the board's thoughts were in regards to what we talked about at the meeting, and they voted unanimously to voted unanimously to go along with the move, and they said they wanted to thank the residents of town for all they're doing to move the senior center forward, and they were pleased that it went forward, and they want to work with the town to go into this new area at the Congregational Church, and they're going to work together to try to make it work the best it can. So I think that was a positive. They were very appreciative. So I don't know if we're just gonna vote now on,
Yeah, I'll make a
do we
motion
need
to,
any updates, though? Is there any new news that we heard? I saw some emails floating around. Any
We had a
problems?
logistical meeting this afternoon with the COA director regarding what things we need to do to effectively and efficiently move into the new space at the church. And I think everything's going to work fine. There's, a few things that Steve McGradigian will be helping us with to make sure that things work smoothly. But I think what I would hope that the board would do tonight is to do two things. One is to vote to approve moving ahead with using the First Congregational Church as the temporary quarters. And then the second is to have discussion about the lease amendment document so that we can get moving on that, get that executed.
So there was, I thought I saw some emails about the use of some rooms that they told us we were gonna use, might have some restrictions on them?
It just means it's going to be shared space, and the COA director had no issue with that. It may make a difference in terms of where we put certain furniture.
Okay. In her office, is she still gonna get,
She will be up in the second floor
Her own
office by
office.
herself.
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess the first motion would be that we agree to move to the
So
Congregational
moved.
Church.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Can I get something? So I can see the small print. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
And then in terms of anticipating that you'd be voting this way tonight, I have drafted a lease amendment. What it does is it takes the existing extension of lease document and it modifies it by inserting these new provisions, which have been negotiated with Steve McGradigian. The document that you have in front of you includes most of the provisions, although Steve has a few things that he'd like to have be modified above and beyond this language. Those points are that he, rather than waive all future lease payments, because he's allowing the COA to stay in the existing space until Saturday, April 14th, he's looking to at least get paid for a portion of the time that they're going to be in there. So he's looking, please correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but he's looking to have the waive of the lease payments be effective on the date that we move out of that space, which is roughly an additional $1,600 and some odd dollars.
I think that's the way I understood it anyway, so as long as it's worded correctly.
That's all
I would say when we move out, in case it goes an extra week and a half, something happens.
From the date of the move,
Yep.
Yes.
okay.
They're gonna try to move on the 15th of Patriots Day.
We have been talking about the fact that we would be out of the space and into the new space April 17th. So what that means is that we'll be trying to start moving some items into the church well before that date.
Okay.
So we, some of those logistical things, we still need to have some discussion with Steve and the church about, but it shouldn't be an issue. Some of the other changes that Steve was looking at comes with the timing of the 2 gift sums that he's willing to give to the town. We'd originally talked about the first gift of $15,000 being at the time of the move, the time of the execution of this amendment to the agreement. He's now asking if that could be done at the close of business calendar year 2018, meaning at the end of 2018, rather than right now at this time of year. And then further, he's looking to have the second payment of the $15,000 be within calendar year 2019, perhaps at the time that the senior center open house is held.
Dedication, you mean?
I don't understand what, it says June 30th.
Well, he's,
On or before
He's
June
asking-
30th.
He's asking it for it to be more flexible in that, in terms of having it be perhaps at the completion of the senior center.
So if we did it earlier, it'd be earlier. If we did it, if we have a closing date of, say, March 30th, and we have the grand opening April 1st,
That's fine. I just want to be able to make one donation
in public.
this calendar year, and then make one the next calendar year. but
so,
Offer a check more in terms of appreciation, gratitude, and
Right.
thanks, and all that other stuff. I don't want to do it for my recognition or any of my exposure, but just more to say thanks, and for your cooperation, here's another check to the town, so.
I don't have any issue with either
I
one
don't
of
see it either, because we're not gonna start building until,
Right.
calendar year, we're not gonna need the money in. For the-
So we need a motion.
So all the other items are in here, the 2 additional storage cabinets, storage.
Yeah, we were speaking to Steve, and he says that he may even have some storage cabinets that exist that he would be willing to provide, so that there's enough shelving for,
Little storage room.
within the storage area.
Because Lisa has 2 now, correct?
She has 2 now, and she will need more.
She needs 4.
So,
I have a question about the gift part portion says, costs related to the senior center. Does that,
I've tried to keep it very general language, because you all have not.
is that general enough that we could use it for senior center operations if that's what we decided?
Yes.
Okay.
and I think, Steve, some people at the COA said some of those cabinets in the current kitchen were empty. I guess they kind of looked through. So maybe if you just drill a hole and put some locks on those, they can keep pans and everything under their control. I mean, and then after we leave, they can either leave them unlocked or they can use them locked themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I did get a email from Lisa, the executive director, this afternoon, just starting a coordination process.
Yeah.
But I suggested to her that perhaps there's some other organizations in town that might have a couple cabinets they might want to part with or give away. I don't know if there's anything at police department or fire department.
Well, I think that the room that we're calling, that we're gonna use as a storage room, we're gonna be able to lock that.
Yes.
Correct.
So everything in there doesn't have to be inside of another locked cabinet.
And I remind the board, this is a church. I mean, this isn't, penitentiary.
I have no problem with that, but I'm saying, so that room could be locked. We don't need inside of that room locked cabinets.
Right, and
Correct.
Lisa agrees with that.
All right, so if some of those cabinets, there were a ton of cabinets in that kitchen, if the church is all right with you drilling a hole and putting a lock in those, and we control the storage, then that could be storage, because that'd be the best, easiest place, cabinets right in the kitchen.
Yeah, and it may not require drilling holes and lagging bolts if they're.
Whatever.
If the handles have a loop, we can just run a little like,
Whatever-
plastic coated cable and put a,
Whatever you work.
combination padlock or something.
Whatever you work
We'll
out.
make it work.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think that's a logistical issue that we
That's
can
fine.
trust that will get properly resolved.
Agreed.
The doors and handles installed in kitchen supply storage. So if anybody has any issues with, any other questions with this, if not, I guess we can,
Well, it
Whatever
still
it's-
has to be agreed, and then it's gotta go through legal too, right, on this?
Well, we can make a motion with that condition that it's all looked at before.
Yeah, what I would suggest is that, you just get final review, and then authorize the chair to sign when the document's finalized.
You had a comment on 7. I don't have any feelings one way or the other on that.
Yeah, neither do I, and that may be something that will go on the basis of what the accountant feels is the most appropriate.
Clean this-
Just the
what's
timing
this?
of payment for the custodial
Landlord will
wages.
pay the town the funds necessary to pay the wages of the existing town. Clean the space occupied by the tenants.
I'll make a motion to approve the draft lease with the changes we just discussed tonight, pending approval from legal, and authorize the chair to sign once we get legal approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Steve,
Thank you, Steve.
for working with us on this. We're gonna make it
We'll
work.
figure out something else we need you to come back to our next meeting for.
We don't want you to miss us.
We're gonna make it work for everybody.
I'm not going anywhere. My investment, like I told my wife, the investment stays in town. God forbid something happens to me tomorrow or next week or the year after, everything stays behind, and the town's the beneficiary.
I appreciate it. And you know, I would just like to clarify again, the Council on Aging and the director said we're gonna work, using other facilities in town. They're still gonna make all the current offerings to the seniors available. It just may be, moving around in different locations, just gonna be something different and new. So, thanks very much, Steve. Okay, next is, we're gonna, some more invoices with no dollar amounts. So the first one is WB Mason invoice 152355029, and it says police station. It doesn't say how much.
For the amount of $704.70.
70 cents. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? WB Mason invoice 152371096 for the police station for the amount of,
$924.
I like these numbers are going down and down now as we're going. Okay, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? RAC invoice release of $13,000.
That should be 3 for the discussion with the FISP.
Right. This was, obviously, this agenda was written a while ago, but the other night at FISP only agreed to releasing 3,000 of the 13,000 that RAC was asking.
So we'll change that to RAC invoice release of $3,000. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. That's, and any other updates? Not right now. And time-sensitive announcements, you can give any of the announcements you think.
Yeah, the only one that I thought was important to make sure we mentioned tonight is on March 14th at 6:45, we have a special public hearing regarding change to the ambulance rates.
And all the other ones are after our next meeting.
Right.
Okay. Any future agenda items or selectmen's reports? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you.